Speaking to professing Christians, if you say that you are a Christian and you want to get married or you are in marriage, what this means is that you are coming under the covenant with God. You are actually saying, Lord, I submit to your authority, I submit to your will regarding marriage and what it means for me as a believing Christian. When you look at the way things are today, marriage has become something that even Christians just go in and out of so easily without respect. They don't think about the creator, they don't think about what they are doing to their lives to begin with. When you are dating, it is not a time to talk about your attraction or who you fell in love with, or or you know these outward things. Yes, you can be attracted to the person that you want to spend your life with. But the most important thing is talking about the workings of marriage, what it means for two of us to say we are in a covenant, what that means. Raising children, you talk about finances. A lot of people say, but there's not a lot of stuff you can talk about. Once I know where you're from and you know where I'm from, that's it. No, you talk about what you need to do. What when it comes to the workings of the household, are you going to stay home as a wife? Do you want to work? Things like that. How are you going to raise the children in a situation like this? What happens? There are so many things to talk about. You have to be careful who you marry. Is this person tempered? Are they patient? Are they peaceful? Do they have a sort of an aggression, or are they, find out these things. And yes, you can never know someone all the way through. There is no manual. You just grow together. And being patient is very important in marriage, because you get to understand that you have to grow up at some point. The things that you used to do as a young person, you can't do them now while you're in marriage. You have to consider another person and in submission to the one true God. When I speak to elderly women, they complain like, I don't know what's going on with the children of this generation. I do not understand how they take marriage so easily. They go into it and you get married today, and then 6 months later you hear they divorced. And we call ourselves Christians. This is not supposed to be that way. There is a price. There is going to be consequences for the decisions that we choose to make. Talk to a young man today, and the first thing he tells you, look, as long as this girl that I'm going to get married to is working and she's making money, I don't have a problem. Money has become more important than actual core values. So if she's not making money that's going to contribute to a certain lifestyle that you want, then it doesn't work out. What happened to a man saying, you know what, I'm not interested. If she wants to work, that's fine. If she wants to stay home, that's fine. Because I am not relying on her ability to supplement my income. Because it is my job to cater to her, to cater to the children. That should be your attitude. And for a woman, look at Titus 2. I encourage every professing Christian or a Christian woman or wife, to go and read Titus 2. The Bible calls you a homemaker, not a slanderer, not giving into too much wine, someone who teaches their daughters to love their husbands, love their children, rear them up in the ways of the Lord. That is what you as a wife is called to do. It is not about how much money that you're going to make to support your husband. It is not about the things that you perceive marriage is supposed to be. No, go back to the scriptures, because before you decide to say, I do, what is God saying about marriage? And God's way works because the world is broken down. Women didn't really have to go work, but they have to now, because most men have refused to take on the role of headship. then it forces the woman to go into workforce. And now some women, because they have never been taught that it is their job to become homemakers, caregivers, nurturers, they want to compete with the men and make more money. If it's not that, it is because the husband chooses to use that as a weapon, a weakness, to say, why don't you go make your own money? Why do you have to disturb me for everything? That is not the heart of a Christian man. That is not the heart of a biblical man, a biblical husband. You do your job, you play your role, you do it with diligence because you are doing it as unto the Lord. You love your wife, you treat her with understanding, you treat her with love and care. It does not matter what she is doing, you are still the head of the family. That is it. And you as a wife, it's not whether the man loves or respects you. Yes, we would all love that. But the world is fallen. It is not perfect. So when you don't receive the accolades for doing your job as a wife, when you do not receive the compliments, it doesn't mean stop what you're doing. Because when you entered into marriage, you're like, despite what he says or what he does, I am going to play my part as a biblical wife because I'm doing it as unto the Lord. We have to go back to the scriptures, guys. We have to go back to the scriptures. We can't be competing with the world when it comes to divorce. In fact, Christian homes are having more divorces because we refuse to do things God's way. We are looking at our own self and we are choosing to do these things. If you decide to be a homemaker, you are not a Kim Kardashian and you are not looking at Real Housewives. No, that is the demonic version of what it means to be a homemaker or a housewife. A homemaker manages. You take whatever your husband brings you, multiply it, you manage it, you maintain it, you cater to them. That the household is a place of peace. It is a place where your husband can come home and lay his head and rest. He doesn't have to fight every single person there and fight you when he gets home. Is it always going to be perfect? No. You are human, you are fallen. Some days will not be peaceful. That I can guarantee you because that is marriage. You are growing. You are trying to reach a state, the state that God actually initially wanted for us when he created Adam and Eve. We are not there yet. But when you make a mistake, you grow from it, you learn from it so that you progress. You can't be the same person 5 years ago. You cannot. You have to grow. And the man, because you are the making money and bringing it into the family, does not mean abuse your wife. Remind her that she is weak-minded. Remind her that she's not earning a living. No. Because that is your role. To show love, to cater to her, understand her. Wives, submit to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives. It is biblical. The moment you go against that and you start putting in your own thoughts, your own words, your own ideologies into marriage, then we have cases where somebody gets married today and 6 months later they divorce. What happened? I'm no longer interested in doing it. I'm tired. We have to go back to the scriptures, guys. We can't keep doing this. Read the word. Understand what it says. I am going into marriage. What does God say about this? It is not about what the world says or what your parents say. Your parents will want you, hey, my son, you need to marry a girl from a rich family so that you are not so that they're not a burden to you. Or wife, make sure that this man is wealthy. What happened to growing with the guy? Because any man, God is the one that gives wealth and adds no sorrow to it. You grow together. Whether you met him while he was still growing or you met him while he was already established, what you do as a wife is to make sure that there is peace in that home, that you are the homemaker, that you take care of things. If you want to start a business or something while you're being a homemaker or a wife, that's still okay. Even if you have a career, that is okay, but make sure that it doesn't interfere with your job, your role as a wife. That your kids are fed, that your husband is fed, not the house help sitting right there or greeting your husband when he's home. Because that's all he is going to be seeing, that's all he's going to be looking at. And as a biblical husband, please discuss these things with your wives. Talk to them. This is what I expect. My husband wasn't joking around. He says, this is what I expect. This is what I know the Bible says. So I need to know, where do you stand? What are your thoughts regarding this? Have these conversations before you say, I do. Have these conversations. Once they are in place, even if in marriage, things begin to steer the other way, God's purpose and plans will never be derailed. You will always come back. He will help you. There is no reason to be afraid. There is no reason to be fearful. Look at the qualities in the Bible. Go to Ephesians 5, 1 Timothy, and find out what God says a biblical husband should be. Husbands or guys, go to the Bible, Titus 2, Ephesians 5. What is it that God says a biblical wife should be? Look for these things. Don't base going into marriage on your emotions, your feelings. Those things fade. Love is not setting your eyes on this woman and she is the most gorgeous thing that you've ever seen, or he's the most handsome and wealthiest man you've ever seen. Love is when you have had to watch the worst part of yourselves. Love comes when you have been broken down and both of you get back up. When you have seen yourselves in the worst condition ever and you don't close your eyes on each other and you help each other up and you keep going, that is when love grows. Don't be deceived by these things that you watch. Whatever comes, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes, you fall for, you go into it. And it doesn't have to take you 20 years to learn this. The reason some preachers, not all of them are very truthful. The reason you find truthful preachers telling you the truth or exactly what I'm telling you now is because they have had to learn. They have had to learn. We need to go back to the scriptures. The moment any other thing or ideology is more important than the scriptures, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. That's all I'm going to say for today. So, guys, let's just get back to the scriptures for our own good.